outwardly, I appear perfectly healthy. The problem is, the tragedy is that, unfortunately, I suffer from quite a serious disease. And it's not just me who suffers from it. Actually, a large part of our population also suffers from this disease. In fact, quite a few people who were part of our August gathering today also suffer from it. For those of you who are looking a little worried, let me assure you, please don't fret. It's not a disease that spreads through touch or by any other form of normal human contact. In fact, there exists a cure for this disease as well. The only problem is a lot of us are not really ready or able to pay the price for this cure. And for those of you who've already figured it out, the disease that I'm suffering from is called bachelorhood. And yes, of course, there exists a cure for this disease called bachelorhood. In fact, my mother has been after my life to seek appropriate treatment for the past few years. But the eternal masochist that I am, I consistently and stubbornly refuse her advances and willingly suffer from this ailment. So apart from the social stigma and the looks and questions that your dear relatives give you at social gatherings, there is a more pressing problem that this disease presents to you. And it's unfortunately more prevalent in our great country. You see, every time I try to rent a house, people treat me like I'm suffering from the chicken pox or the plague or some other infectious disease. In fact, and we are not here to stereotype, but this could be an accurate summary of some conversations that I have had with homeowners over the past few years. Question: are you ready and willing to pay an arm and a leg to rent this tiny matchbox that I like to call a 2 BHK? Yes. Question: are you able to mortgage 3 kidneys to put down the security deposit for this place to shelter yourself from the rain? Yes. Question: society rules stipulate that you're not allowed to have any pets, thereby ruining any chance that your miserable, lonely lives may have of companionship. Is that acceptable to you? Okay. Good. Final question: do you promise to be a Bal Brahmachari for life, ensure that no friends will ever visit you, and guarantee that not a drop of alcohol or meat can cross my threshold? Yes. Oh, good, perfect. Just curious, do you eat onions? Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Then we can't have a deal. You eat onions. No. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is it's hard being us, right? And I've lived in Bombay for almost 15 years, and in that time, I've had to change a few houses. Some conversations with homeowners have actually been quite pleasant and friendly, but quite a few of them may or may not have gone along these lines. The problem is, I could be a 30-year-old business graduate, successful fund manager, teacher, whatever. Society has enough faith in me to let me elect governments, manage and run startups, teach the youth of the nation, but they are not comfortable giving me a home. But one thing is constant. That moment when you finally convince a homeowner to rent their house to you, that is the kind of success that olden kings must have felt when they won a damn war. And that moment when you finally cross the threshold into your new home, that is the quintessence of triumph and victory. I've not been as happy when I was finally awarded my goddamn degree. And obviously such huge moments need to be celebrated. And us bachelors are very well famous for throwing quite the wild parties, right? So let me tell you the exact description of the party that I had when I moved into my last house, my latest house. It was very late at night. It was maybe around 1 o'clock. And I was alone, drinking Glucon-D out of plastic cups because it was exhausting work to move so many boxes across 5 floors, and eating Maggi atta noodles because that's the only thing I know how to cook, right? That's wild. But again, when I was rummaging through this late night and trying to find that box that actually held the pillows, I revisited this one dream that I've had for the past few years. That dream is one day I will have a home of my own. And when I have that home of my own, that house of my own, I'm not going to stay in it. I'm going to rent it out. And when I rent it out, I'm going to ask the person a question: do you eat onions? And when he responds, I'll say, it doesn't matter. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. I hope we had fun. Thank you.